My name is Shannon DeLoach, and you're watching Inspiration by Loretta Show.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Inspiration by Loretta Show. I'm your host Loretta GreenWarren, and I'm here today with Mr. Shannon DeLoach. He is the owner of Serenity Mortuary Incorporated. He's here today to share his own personal brand of inspiration with us. So sit tight and relax, and we'll be right back. Here's what's been happening in our community.
The tragedy in Charleston.
Tonight, the community of Charleston is in mourning.
We woke up today, and the heart and soul of South Carolina was broken.
An entire nation grieving with South Carolina. But during this vigil to pray for those who lost their lives, through the tears, a moment of relief. The suspect in Wednesday night's deadly church massacre now in custody.
In South Carolina at Emmanuel AME Church. It's a historic black church in South Carolina, and it was done by a guy named Dylan Storm Root. He appears to be some sort of right-wing racist. Killed 9 people, 6 women, and 3 men.
We're the Williams family from Pathways, and you're watching Inspiration by Loretta.
Now, back to the show. Hi, Shannon, and welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good, Loretta. How are you?
I'm so grateful for you, accepting the invitation to be a guest on the show to share your own personal brand of inspiration. You are the owner of Mortuary, and I find it kind of interesting.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a field you kind of grew up saying, yeah, that's what I want to do. So, yeah. So, but before we get into that, tell me exactly who is Shannon DeLoach?
Well, it's funny you asked that, but let's see, Shannon DeLoach, well, of course, a 30-year-old male. I realized my passion and what I wanted to do at a very young age. I was blessed and fortunate to, realize 3 things I wanted to do, and all those 3 things really consisted of me serving others. Really serving others. And being a film director was one of them. I grew up not from a place not too far from Somerville called the Embassy, South Carolina, which is just outside of Walterboro. Raised by a single parent who made a lot of sacrifices for me so that I could get ahead. And my mom did a tremendous job, and everything I do, I try to keep her in mind. How can I make her proud? How can the sacrifice she made for me, how can I somewhat repay her back for what she's done for me. So realizing those passions at a very young age. There were things, 3 things I always wanted to be. One was being a mortician, and I thank God for opening doors for me. The other was being a law enforcement officer, which I was, of course, blessed to do as well. And the other one was preaching. So those 2 things I was very passionate about, and God has definitely opened doors.
So I like what you said about wanting to kind of pay tribute to your mom by living your life in a way that would make her proud because of all of the sacrifices that she made for you. Now, me being a mom myself, that would be the only thing that I would want for my children. I would want them to appreciate what I did and then live a life that would make me proud. I think that's a pretty amazing thing to hear a young man say. And you being so young, 30 is pretty young. How did you get started on your path to becoming all of those 3 things that you wanted to do?
Well, you're walking in the path of God ordained for you when doors begin to open, things just really kind of begin to fall in place for you. It's almost really kind of hard to describe, but things just kind of lined up and fell right in place. Looking back, over my life and the things that I've accomplished thus far, I wonder, what I'd be able to do it again, because again, things just, it lined up.
Right.
So doors open, and all I had to do was just walk in.
Wow.
Even
that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Some of us, we wander through life trying to figure out, okay, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? And some people might feel like doors never, open, so they're, just out here doing whatever to kind of maintain. So it's wonderful to be able to recognize that, these things have been put in place for me, and all I have to do is follow that path, and all will be well. So. And
I'm still in awe a lot of days, again, reminiscing and looking back and thinking like, wow, this happened like this for a reason. So I know that I'm walking in the path that God ordained for me to walk, walk in by those things happening.
So now let's talk about being a mortician. Now you're the president and manager of Serenity Mortuary Incorporated. Why a mortician?
Well, is again, as a child, is one of those things that, again, I was very passionate about. I really thought it was at times, I thought it was weird, I thought it was odd, but the feelings, the sensations I would get from, for example, seeing a hearse drive by, I would get excited.
Really?
Or very curious about it. But then I really care about people. I really I'm really passionate. I really care about people and what they experience and what they're going through when they have lost a loved one. I want to be there. I have a desire to be there, waiting on them. I have a desire to serve. I hate to see people go, but if I have the opportunity to serve family, make a difference, during the time they lost a loved one, then that really gives me great joy. The funeral service is a very profitable industry, but I just get a joy out of serving. Just being able to wait. Someone has entrusted me with the care of their loved one, and I really don't take that for granted.
I believe it takes a special kind of person to be able to give that type of care.
I do, because you have people who are in this profession because it's a calling, it's their ministry, and you have others who are in it just for the profit.
Right.
But your work really speaks volume when it's a calling. When you're called to serve in that capacity, and it really is a ministry, because you're really carrying the burdens, sharing the burdens with individuals who've lost a loved one.
Now, Shannon, how do you keep yourself grounded as a man, as a business professional? How do you keep yourself grounded in this career field? How do you maintain your mindset on a professional level when dealing with so much grief and loss?
Well, I find comfort in knowing that God has called me to do this, so He has definitely equipped me with it. There are some days where this job, I really don't want to say be stressful, but it can be overwhelming, because I really don't look at it as a job. I get joy out of this. So You know, it doesn't matter how many hours that I put into this, you know, to the funeral home or being at the funeral home. I still look at it as a form of pleasure. So I really feel that I've been equipped, you know, to do this job because it's my ministry. So daily, you know, praying daily, still have a relationship with God and knowing that, and trusting Him, and knowing that, you know, He will keep me spiritually and strengthen me physically, you know, to do what's required or what's really required of me as a mortician.
Now, what's the most important aspect of being a mortician?
You have to be a people person.
Right.
You definitely, because again, you're caring for a deceased individual, but you really have to be a people person.
Right.
You know.
So, Shannon, this would be a good time for you to tell everybody where they can go to find out more information about the Serenity Mortuary Incorporated, your website information, how they can contact you in the event that they need your services.
Yes. Well, again, the Serenity Mortuary is located in Somerville, South Carolina, at 209 Old Charlie Road. Even though we're in Somerville, South Carolina, you know, we probably serve the Tri-County area, which consists of Charleston County, Dorchester, and Berkeley County. And within those counties, of course, Charleston, North Charleston, Goose Creek, Mounts Corner, Somerville area. We're here again to serve the Tri-County area. We're on Facebook. We have a website, which is the www.serenitymortuaryinc.com. My office number is 843-225-7800. So you can Google us. We will show up. Yep.
All right, everybody. So we'll have that information on the screen for you so that you can get a pen and jot it down in the event that you ever need his services or you have any questions about what Mr. DeLoach does. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We are back. I'm sitting here today talking with Mr. Shannon DeLoach, who is the president and manager of the Serenity Mortuary Incorporated. Shannon, I wanted to know, I know we talked about your mom and how much she influenced your life, but what or who is your greatest source of inspiration?
Well, my greatest source of inspiration would be my grandparents.
Okay.
Mainly my granddad. He has been there for me growing up. You know, always showed love. Always provided love. And it's just, I think it's an honor to be called his grandson. You know, he'd always say, do all the good while you can before time runs out.
Right.
You know, so he would always say those things.
Awesome.
And you know, again, I just thank God for him. He's an awesome.
Since we're talking about inspiration, I want to talk a little bit about the calling that God has placed on your life. When did you recognize that there was a calling for you in ministry?
Some years ago. It's one of those things where I really was kind of running from, really didn't, you know, really wanted to do.
Right.
I would always ask a lot, you know, are you a minister, are you a preacher? No, and never really ask why, because, you know, you never really know what people see in you. And a lot of times people see things in you that you don't really see in yourself.
Right.
You know, that you just really don't see. Not that you overlook, but you just don't see it. But it was one of those things where I always knew my passion and concern I would have for people and how I could, you know, in some way bear their burdens or make a difference in their life.
Right.
And that's what we're all here for, to be a blessing to others, to care for each other, and to ultimately to love each other.
Right.
So I realized it, and again, it was a real sense of unworthiness, like, why me of all people? You know, I really don't, you know. But running away for it, and there came a day in time where, you know, you can't run anymore.
Right, you can't run from God.
You can't. I mean, no matter where you go, you can't run.
You said you made a statement about feeling unworthy. How did you work through that feeling of unworthiness to be able to walk in your purpose?
Yeah. Well, there's some things, even our past, we have to put behind us and leave behind us and press forward.
Right.
You know, because we can't move forward if we keep looking back.
Right.
You know, so we know that all of us are so undeserving of God's grace and mercy, but yet, all because of love, you know, we are here. He keeps us and He sustains us and He provides for us. So there's some things about ourselves we have to overlook. You know, knowing that, you know, we're not worried, but we have to look and move forward, press forward daily.
Trust in Him, because, you know, He is our Creator, so He knows what's
He
best
knows,
for
yeah.
us.
I mean, He knows His children. So.
Right. So Shannon, what are some words that you live by or model your life after? Some people have like a favorite scripture or quote. What are some words that you live by?
Well, I would say, whatever you do in life, do well. Whatever you do in life, do it well, and do it for the glory of God. You know, do it well, because you don't know how. Sometimes we don't realize how we're being a blessing to others.
Right.
And you don't really feel like you're making a difference, but you really are making a difference in someone's life. So whatever you do it well.
Okay. Right. Okay. So we're going to take a break for our inspirational poetry segment, and we'll be right back.
An inspiration by Loretta production. If I had wings, would I fly? Or would fear keep me from the sky? Would I watch as my dreams float away? With both feet planted in the sand, would I stay? When the wind of courage blows beneath my wings, a song of faith will I sing. Will I believe the promise of the sky, that my destiny and my purpose is to fly? If I had wings, would the cool breeze of my vision cause me to soar, so that I will be grounded no more? If I had wings.
All right, we're back. I'm still here talking to Mr. Shannon DeLoach, the owner and manager of Serenity Mortuary, Inc. And again, that website, if you'd like to contact Shannon or find out more information about what he does in the event that you should need his services, the website is www.theserenitymortuaryinc.com. So it's on the screen for you. Write it down and keep it for a time when you'll ever need it. All right, so Shannon, you've been in service all of your life, pretty much.
pretty much since
right?
high school.
You obviously have a great passion for helping others and caring for others, to the extent that you have also worked as a police officer. How's that? How was it
It's pretty awesome. Again, as a child, you know, I remember telling people it's one of the things that I wanted to do. Because again, being there, being looked at as a hero, being able to help people solve their problems and disputes, and you know, of course, lock the bad guys up. Every child's dream. So, but yeah, with that, again, doors began to open for me. When I first got into law enforcement, I worked for the Mount Pleasant Police Department, and then from there I went on to work for the Charleston County Sheriff's Office. But it was both of those were awesome jobs. You know, you meet so many different people on a daily basis. You know, I could say in law enforcement there's nothing I haven't seen. Always coming to work expecting the unexpected. Right. A lot of times people would ask me, well, "You're not afraid?" But you know,
that was going to be my next
worry
question.
about you know getting hurt or and you know getting placed in harm's way. Honestly, no, I didn't. Because if I thought about those things, I wouldn't be able to perform effectively anymore. Right. That's very, very important. Because if they were, if law enforcement officers were here, can you imagine the chaos?
I wouldn't even want to
that
think
this
about
would,
it.
you know, they are. I like to say ministers of justice.
Right.
You know, they are ministers of justice.
I like
They have a purpose. They have a calling that they have to fulfill as well to maintain law and order.
So you went to school to get a degree in a mortuary science degree. Okay.
Yes.
And so what school did you attend to accomplish that?
After high school, I went to Gutton Jones College. A funeral service was located in Decatur, Georgia. Okay. Very awesome school, very fine, awesome teachers, and which really equipped me and gave me the knowledge I need to better serve the families here of the Low Country and basically anywhere in the United States.
So I want to ask you a weird question, a funny question. If you had to choose, well, we're all going to get to the point where, you know, we have to make a decision, or our families will have to make a decision. Would you choose burial or cremation?
Personally, burial.
Okay.
Yeah, more traditional burial.
Right. Okay. Because I told my my family, don't burn me.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. More to come.
So now, how far in advance should a person prepare for that time? I mean, is it ever too soon to prepare?
It's never too soon because I tell people that death is definitely inevitable.
Right.
You know, it is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. You know.
Okay. So what is the most important thing that a person needs to know about preparing or arranging funerals or funeral service?
Well, I think the most important thing is to what your charges are. You know, so that way you can have adequate funds, finances to take care of those expenses that are accrued.
When it comes to being a business owner, as a young black man, how has that process been for you, managing and running your own business?
Well, it has its moments, Loretta. You know, it does. It has its moments. Overall, it's a pleasure. You know, there's a saying I say from time to time: in order to have something, you've got to do some things you've never done before. And definitely with this business, you know, to have a business of this type of this magnitude, I've had to do some things I've never done before. There's some nights I've definitely stayed awake, trying to piece things together and make things happen. So a lot of times people think, oh man, you have your own business, but then there's a lot goes into having a business. A lot of considerations and things you have to consider with owning a business. A business initially is not as profitable as a lot of people think. You know, growth in time has to take place, and then starting from the bottom, building, it's painful. It is painful. Growing is definitely painful.
What do you believe is the key to success in business?
Remaining focused, knowing and realize that today is not going to be like tomorrow. You know, tomorrow's not going to be like the next day. Remaining positive.
Never look at your right now situation because it doesn't determine what your future
My
will
mom
be.
always said the wind doesn't blow the same way always.
All right now.
It might be blowing your way today, but tomorrow it'll be blowing.
All right. If you could do it all over again, would you, and what would you change if you could?
I would definitely do it all over again.
Okay.
and honestly, Red, I didn't thought about what I would change.
Okay.
You know, I you know, a lot of times I walk around in this building in awe. You know, how everything is falling into place.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it was really God.
So, what advice could you give other young men who may be aspiring to own their own business?
Start writing things down now. It's one thing that I always did, you know, because I knew I wanted to own a funeral home. I remember binders and different things that I would carry around with ideas and make notes I would jot down. But write it down on paper, make it plain.
Right.
You know, talk to other business owners. You know, see what they went through, because it's so important for us to share with others our struggles and what we did, so that we can pull somebody along. Because again, we don't know how we might be an inspiration to others.
Right.
And so write things down. You know, talk as much as you can with people. Start making a game plan. And a list of long-term goals and short-term goals, things that are definitely attainable. And anything's attainable if you have it. If you see the vision, it's definitely attainable.
Right.
You just have to connect yourself with the right people, you know, to put it in place and make it happen.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So, when you think about Shannon DeLoach, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, I think of Shannon DeLoach. I really thought about that, but I really haven't. I really haven't thought about that. But if I had to say something, I would say an individual who's very passionate about, you know, about serving and waiting on others. You know, I like people, I like being around people.
Right.
You know, like talking with people, and ultimately, just if I could, you know, make a difference in someone's life, even in some small way, you know, that makes me feel good.
What sets the Serenity Mortuary, Inc. apart from other funeral service providers?
Well, I would say our goal, our motto is making the inevitable pleasant. In the moment that you reach out to us, we keep that in mind all the time. You know, from the way we handle our families, the way we carry our service, the way we present our professional services, personalized services, and we try to make things personal. Right. You know, when families come in, you know, we try to become a part of that family.
Share with everybody that, I mean, you have been such a delight having this conversation today, and your spirit and your sincerity about caring for others really stands out. And you talking to you would make someone want to trust you with their most difficult experience, and then it is the most difficult, but then also the most precious experience that a person will go through. So your demeanor and your voice even is kind and gentle, and it kind of draws you in. So, you know, I would definitely, if God forbid, if I should ever need, you know, services, I would definitely come to you. So I'm saying that, you know, on camera, everybody, I recommend Serenity Mortuary, who is owned by this great young man right here, who has had in the 30 years that he's been here, a full life of serving other people. And you can see it for yourself by watching the show on today. He's very genuine about everything that he's said, and he's very passionate about taking care of others, and that's definitely something that you want to look for when you're going through one of your most difficult experiences. So I recommend Serenity Mortuary to you guys. So make sure, if you want to find out more information about the Serenity Mortuary Inc., or you want to find out more about Mr. Shannon DeLoach here, you want to contact him or come in and have a consultation with him, find out more about the funeral process, go to their website, www.theserenity.com. mortuaryinc.com, or you can call Shannon up at
843-225-70.
all right, there you have it. We'll have it on the screen for you. So Shannon, is there a last thought that you would like to leave with the audience also?
I would say live life to the fullest, enjoy every moment of it, examine yourself really, see if you're being a blessing in life. It's so important to get there.
So, have you been a blessing to someone today? And if you haven't, it's not too late. Now is a good time to start. Be a blessing to somebody. Don't wait for somebody to bless you. Be a blessing, and then you too shall be blessed. So, I want to thank everybody for tuning into this edition of the Inspiration by Loretta Show, where we explore minds and inspire hearts. I've truly been inspired today by Mr. Shannon DeLoach, who's the owner and manager of the Serenity Mortuary, and I implore you to go and check them out and see what they have to offer you. And it is my prayer that something shared here today has. But as always, I look forward to seeing you next time. Be blessed, everyone.